NAACP recently has come out with a out of bounds campaign asking for athletes, current athletes of targeted schools, state schools here in the South to transfer to other schools outside of the state, HBCUs, asking for recruits to not sign with the universities and asking for alumni and things like that to redirect any funds that they would have. Look, I don't like the way it's done. It's not the what for me. You know, the political consequence. I get it. It's the why. It's the how. It's the why you're doing it, and it's the how you're doing it. I have a major issue with. What do I mean? Not too long ago there was this guy. His name was Coach Prime. You may know him, and he was hired as the head coach for Jackson State University. And in his first year there, he gets the number one recruit in the country. I'm going to say it again, number one recruit in the country, Travis Hunter, to sign with Jackson State University, a HBCU. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. He then, Coach Prime goes on to have success at Jackson State, winning conference championships. It's HBCU all over the cable networks. The visibility of the HBCU athletic programs is taking off. You can literally feel the paradigm shift of athletics at HBCU universities, right? And so in his second year, I believe it was his second year at Jackson State, because of his wild success, yeah, Power Fives come calling. And at that time, what was being offered to Coach Prime, I believe it was like maybe 2.5 or 3 million a year, and he was making about $500,000 a year at Jackson State. The point I'm trying to make is, at that point, the forward trajectory of the HBCUs at that time, with the money starting to flow in, with recruits thinking about doing what Travis Hunter did, we couldn't pony up a measly 5 to 10 million within the black community in this country, including the NAACP, to keep Coach Prime at the HBCU Jackson State. I ask you, do you think he would have stayed there if the money was able to be matched? Hell yeah. Do you think he might even took a little bit less because it was an HBCU, but it was kind of close to what he was getting offered at Colorado? You think he would have stayed? Yes. But we don't recognize offense. We don't recognize progress when it's not in response to something that we don't like. But when we have the Louisiana v. Callais case, and when black congressional districts, are being threatened, now the NAACP says, hey, let's boycott these big schools. Let's give support to HBCUs now. Let's get the big recruits to go to the HBCUs now. No, the time to do that was when there was still an opportunity to keep Coach Prime at Jackson State. People really have missed on how big of an opportunity that was lost over was relatively a small amount of money. It's the why for me, right? A lot of these kids have been dedicating their lives to these sports. And the experience of their signing day was a happy experience. It was one they take a lot of pride in, that they worked very hard to achieve. And at no other time do I see NAACP coming out to help these athletes. Not with NIL, not with understanding NIL. I come from Edna Call High School. You may know there's many kids that's lost their lives, athletes, A lot of them kids are traumatized. The coaches are traumatized. There's no NAACP there. There was no attention then. So what I'm saying is now, the outcome, the political consequence, I'm not in disagreement with that. But to arbitrarily throw this on the shoulders of 17, 16, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds who just want to play football, and, I don't agree with how it was done. There's a better way to do it. Perhaps we could reach out to these kids and ask them what are their thoughts on the Out of Bounds campaign. I talked to a few top recruits in this state and asked them. They didn't receive a call from anyone. They're not hard to contact. They have agents now. Obviously, the NAACP is talking to the top recruits. Yes, they're not hard to find. But let's look at this from another angle as well. We have to be prepared for the possible political consequence that's going to be inflicted on these kids that does decide to join the Out of Bounds campaign that the NAACP is proposing. Are we going to act like it's impossible and unheard of for kids that choose to decommit or leave a school being blackballed by other universities that they possibly transfer to? Are we going to act like we don't understand that at the top they stick together always? Are we going to act like they might not get drafted in the NFL because now they've been targeted as someone who's quote unquote a Colin Kaepernick? Does the NAACP have a plan for these kids? Because we've been losing long enough. The kids in our community have been losing long enough. And now the one thing they have that can get them out of this situation, to get them out this hell, you want to come mess with that now. Well, there's a way to do that. There's a way to not arbitrarily assume that every black athlete who's a top recruit is a supporter of the Democratic Party. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is you take all of the black people for granted. How about that? How about reaching out to these athletes and asking them, do we have your support? Do you feel aggrieved by the Louisiana v. Callais decision? How about that? It's that mindset. It's that arrogance of thinking you can come out and just call a boycott to the top recruits because they're black over a political decision that also has obviously racial implications. Please, I understand. But there's a way to do it. That's all I'm saying. It's a way to do it. You know? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? In this city, in my city, over 40 years of black mayoral leadership, and what do we have to show for it? The highlight of that time, obviously, was Mark Morial's tenure as mayor. I was a kid at that time. I was in Norwood. At that time, it was a great time in the city. But what do we have? What do we have to show for it? We don't want to pass down or create young leaders, create young black leaders here. We don't want to do that. We got people that want to hold on to that power they have until they're on their deathbed, and they still ain't going to let it go. And if they are going to let it go, they're only going to let it go to people that's right there in their circle, regardless of how unqualified they are, regardless of how incompetent they are. I've seen it with my own eyes, and so have you. It's time we talk about it. It's time we talk about the people that have been blackballed because they don't support a certain political candidate that the black political establishment in this city has designated as who's supposed to be up next. Let's talk about it. It's time we talk about the more qualified and the elite brains and the more competent individuals who do not get into leadership positions because of their political affiliation or their independence. It ain't the white Republicans that did that to us. We did that to us. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the situations that fly under the radar, like Miss Sharon Jasper over at Hanno, who was a board member for Hanno, who did the right thing, who advocated for the residents of this city and was asked to be removed from the board for doing so, for informing them of their rights. I talked to Miss Jasper. I called Miss Jasper after that she was removed from the board. I heard the pain in Miss Jasper's voice, the disappointment. White Republicans didn't do that to Miss Jasper. We did. Or what about Dr. Wyatt? What about her? A principal who was doing a great job, who was removed for political reasons. She pointed out someone who was doing wrong, who come to find out was doing wrong. You may not like the way she does everything she does. You may not like her tactics, but the intention is right. Her heart is in the right place. But has definitely been a victim in this city of political blackballing. Even though she's one who really cares about the kids. Even though she's one that really had the kids' best interests at heart. White Republicans didn't do that to Dr. Wyatt. We did. Let's talk about Brother Malik Rahim, good friend of mine. How he's been treated. How he's been blackballed in this city. A man who helped thousands of people during the devastation of Hurricane Katrina and founded Common Ground Health Clinic, which I even visited as a young kid to get free medical treatment when I didn't have health insurance. We don't lift people like that up. No. White Republicans didn't do that to Mr. Malik. We did. Let's look at Brother Tyron Trone, 25-year-old that ran for mayor and won in Opelousas, and anybody with even a scintilla of common sense would have saw that a political lynching was on its way. A 25-year-old black man in Opelousas, you know what was coming. And it sure enough came. Where's the support? Where's the NAACP? Because other 25-year-old brothers that's thinking about running for mayor are watching that. They want to make sure they're going to be protected when the political lynching comes for them. Now, I can't say we did that to him, but we sure wasn't there for him. And the brother said he's going to run again. That's what you got to do. You got to keep going. Right? So I just wanted to voice my opinion. I don't do this a lot. I probably should. But I don't do this a lot. But it's at the point, man, we're getting to a point where, minds, intelligent minds, competent minds have to start coming out and speaking the truth, because the ones who are doing the opposite are just truly outnumbering us. And I think it's time we have an obligation to come out and speak truth. Truth to power, and just truth in general. You know? I'm Mars Waiters, I'm out.